Hello everyone. I'm just going to do one more update on this storm before I head to sleep. Yeah, this is not turning out, number one, how I hoped it would turn out, and number two, how I originally thought it was going to turn out. This right now is your current map. This is showing what's currently going on. As you can see, this area right here, we were forecasting would get at least 3 to 5 inches, and now they're going to get nothing. Maybe a coating, because this high pressure over here is dominating this entire area from about from here to there. This high pressure is dominating. You have cold, dry Arctic air coming in behind this cold front, and this high pressure is helping to usher that in. And that's keeping snow bands from reaching north of central New Jersey. So I have a problem thinking that there's going to be more than 2 to 3 inches from, I-80, actually no, probably Pennsylvania Turnpike northward. An additional 2 to 3 inches. You've probably already gotten about 2 to 4. But I don't think you're going to see much more snow. I don't think you're going to see that much more snow north of central New Jersey and southern Pennsylvania. I think it's going to be too dry in that area. So what's going to happen? My thinking is, as this storm moves east, it's going to continue to weaken. You see right now, this is you have many different low pressure systems along this cold front. Most of them really aren't that strong. 1012 millibars. That's really not that strong. These numbers do get lower, which means the lows do strengthen a little bit, but not by much. I think the overall nature of this storm is going to weaken as it moves east. However, as it does get closer to the Atlantic Ocean, the trough is going to become negatively tilted, which means it is going to be taking in moisture. Okay? And that means that as you head east, your snowfall amounts are going to increase, but in a very narrow swath. Okay? Because you're going to have heavy snow bands trying to form, but as it's going to try to go north, but cold, dry air is going to be fighting that cold, dry air mass, and they won't be able to form. There's no moisture. And, the best frontogenetic forcing is here now, because the cold front just moved through, but that's moving east. And by the time the low gets here, your best forcing is going to be down here. There isn't going to be any forcing up here. There's going to be no lift in the atmosphere. It's going to, there's no moisture either. It's going to be all dry. There's going to be nothing coming up. So, there's going to be no instability. There's going to be no energy to produce snow. Central New Jersey northward, southern Pennsylvania northward, north of Pennsylvania Turnpike. It's just not going to happen. So, yeah, you can see I'm disappointed because, snow is supposed to be all the way up here, and now it's not. With that in mind, let's look at our GFS. This is the GFS here. So, earlier today, this is where your high pressure is. As you can see, these isobars that are associated with the colder Arctic air are just, they're dominating this entire area. This northern branch of the jet stream, the disturbance here, the short wave, that's associated with the high pressure over here. The high pressure is moving it east. This is moving east very quick. And the cold front came, it's going to come further south than forecast, so right behind it follows cold Arctic air. And, watch what happens as we move east. See, this is going to try to form, this is going to try to form northward. But you have your northern branch coming down, and it can't. It tries to go north. It can't because this northern disturbance here, that's associated with cold, dry Arctic air, just keeps pushing this further down south. So, heavy snow is not going to reach that far north as previously forecast. Okay, look at your precipitation map. Look, it's all the way down south now. Originally, we had heavy snow up here. And now it's all the way down here. And that's where it's going to stay. See that? It just does not go further north. And it tries to form further north, and it can't. Okay? The track of the lows is still the same. The only reason we're not getting snow farther north is because of the cold air mass up here that keeps pushing further south. And again, notice that this is negatively tilted. So as you get close over here, there's going to be more moisture associated with this. So snowfall amounts are going to increase this way, but in a very narrow swath. Okay? So what does that mean? I've created a new snowfall map. This is additional snowfall through tomorrow, and look, this is a lot smaller than it was. Before I go over this, let me just get my interstate map up so I can give estimates. Oh, and I just want to show you guys the forcing here. So, if you, hold on, I have to get back to frame number, alright. So, this is at 7 a.m. Monday. Your forcing has moved off the shore, and look, the only place you're going to have forcing is in this area here. So, your heavy snow is going to be right around this area, because you have, you know, the isobars close together. You have values of 5, 1, those are pretty high. I'm sorry, values of 3 and 5, those are pretty high. So, your values are going to be around here. And that's where you're going to get your heavy snow. So around Washington, D.C., you know, Central Virginia, that's where you, and Western Kentucky, West Virginia, Eastern Kentucky, excuse me, this is where your heaviest snow is going to be. And, you know, if the storm doesn't get there in time, snow amounts are going to keep coming down. So that's the story there. So let's get our interstate map up so I can use that to describe. Here we go. Alright, so looking at your snowfall amounts. Your 1 to 3 is going to start south of I-80. No, south of New York City, south of Long Island, central New Jersey, probably around Trenton is where your 1 to 3 is going to start. It's going to go west-southwest along the Pennsylvania Turnpike, just north of I-70, and it's going to keep going along I-70 pretty much, and then along I-74, maybe a little bit north of I-74, and continuing along north of I-70, and then going into, you know, southern parts of Minnesota. Actually, I'm sorry, that's Missouri. Gosh, I need to know my states better than this. Eastern Kansas, eastern Oklahoma, northern Arkansas, northern Tennessee, maybe northern North Carolina. You're mainly rain net right now. I think you're just going to get a coating of snow, if that. Your 3 to 5 line is going to start in southern New Jersey, and then that's going to continue to go west along along I-70. The 1 to 3 line is north of that. Your 3 to 5 line is going to go along I-70, and that's going to continue west-southwest, probably around I-65 going west. It'll be south of I-70, I'm pretty sure. Your 3 to 5 line. Well, maybe along I-70. Alright, we're going to go the long I-70 and south. Your 1 to 3 line is going to be a little bit farther north, but not that much far north. But your I-70 is going to be the dividing line between 1 to 3 and 3 to 5, so we'll go with that. Additional. Your 5 to 8 is going to start Delaware, southern Maryland, going westward through northern Virginia and central West Virginia into eastern Kentucky. That's going to be your 5 to 8 line. I-77, you're on the southern end of the 5 to 8 line. I-64, you're in the 5 to 8 line. And then Washington, D.C., you're going to be in the narrow swath of 8 to 12. Okay, so then your narrow swath of 8 to 12 is probably going to go, you know, starting just north of I-77, and then it's going to intersect I-77 as we go west. So your narrow swath of 8 to 12 is going to include Washington, D.C., Central Virginia, and Central West Virginia. Okay, Philadelphia, I think you're just going to get an additional 3 to 5. Washington, D.C., in addition to the 1/4 of an inch of ice you're going to get an additional, 1/10 of an inch of ice, you're going to get an additional 8 to 10 inches of snow. Because your forcing is going to increase, as I showed you on the short-range forecast model map. And there you go. So that's my opinion on that area. Now let's talk about New York City and Long Island. I got to do this quick because this video is too long. Alright, so this is what the NAM is predicting. So notice this is during the night tonight. The purple is really light snow. And that's all we get. That's all you get. That's what the NAN's predicting. All of the heavy stuff, all of this is going to stay to the south. I don't even know if this area here is going to get moderate snow. I think as the low comes here, this entire area is going to, be omitted from getting any more heavy snow because of the cold coming down. And remember how I said the GFS was originally bringing heavy snow bands onto the shore for Long Island and New York City? Well, check it out. That is no longer the case. We only get light blue at most, and then it's just purple. All the darker shades of blue are off the coast. Okay? Now, what does that mean for Long Island and New York City? To be honest, I didn't even draw up another map because it's really not necessary. I'm looking to see if they changed the quantitative precipitation forecast. No, they haven't. It's still this. I have a feeling it's going to go down to more like 1/100th to 1/10th of an inch of liquid equivalent, which is, an inch or less. So New York City and Long Island, you're just going to be seeing very, very light snow. And more like snow showers. Some of you might not even see snow, in my opinion. You might just see a couple of flurries. But all the forcing is going to be south, because the cold air is going to come in and keep snow bands from going on north. Alright, so New York City and Long Island, inch or less. Probably less than an inch. Coating, maybe. Coating to an inch. That's my forecast. Alright, yeah, this storm was really tough to forecast because of the interaction between the cold air mass and the storm itself. So I apologize for all of you in the Northeast that thought you were going to get a big snowstorm. I really thought that's what was going to happen too, but it's just not. It just didn't work out. And we're looking at another system for Friday. That's probably going to be more of a rain producer, but we'll have to watch that because it could be a rain and snow mix earlier in the day. Or if it comes through during the day on Thursday night, then we might see more snow, but we'll have to watch that. And then we're looking at another system for next Monday, which I have a feeling will be... It looks like a wintry mess as well, but probably more of a rain situation. So we'll update videos on that later in the week. Alright, this is my last video on this storm because I really don't think it's necessary to talk about it anymore. Thank you.